you doing? How's the conference so far for everybody? I'll introduce these guys here in a minute, but first I'll tell you a little about the Abitibi. Several of the world's largest gold and base metal deposits are found in eastern Canada's Abitibi Greenstone Belt. This highly prolific mining territory boasts over 100 mines, and it's produced over 180 million ounces since the early 1900s. Mining in the area experienced a resurgence between 2000 and 2010 during the last bull market, when Osisko and Detour Gold invested heavily into two areas, Malartic and Detour Lake. But during this cycle, the recent activity by Osisko at the Windfall Lake deposit has really brought attention to the area again. I was in attendance at the Beaver Creek show in 2016 when they announced that they believed there was 5 million ounces, high-grade ounces at Windfall Lake, and they proceeded to back it up by announcing a 250,000-meter drill program, and now has since doubled it. So lots going on in the Abitibi, but I'd like to introduce you to my panel here. We have Maple Gold Mines, who used to be called Arvista Gold. They changed their name recently. We have President and CEO Matthew Horner. Tarku Resources, CEO Sylvain Leberge. Oh, I'm sorry, Julian, the president. They don't tell me these things. They just tell me to come and who's going to be there. Okay, and we have Globex Mining Enterprises Director and President, CEO Jack Stotch. Okay, correct. And Opus One Resources, formerly GFK Resources, Director and CEO Louis Morin. Okay, and let's get right into the questions here. We'll start with you, Matthew. Can you please give us some background on your management team and experience?
Sure. I'll sit on the edge here for a second. The management team actually hails from what was the Ivanhoe Mines Group, if you're familiar with that shop run by Robert Friedland. I worked there for 12 years with him, and David Broughton is on the board. He was the VP Exploration for Ivanhoe Mines and responsible for, I think, most of the dollars in Ivanhoe Mines market cap. Jay Chmielewskis is the chair of Maple Gold. He was on the board and ran some of the companies for Robert in the past, looking for gold in China. So our management and experience comes from that world, and what I've been trying to work on over the last 6-7 months since I've been in charge was to bring that kind of level of sophistication and excellence in management to this company.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm Julian Devi, the president of Tarku Resource. I'm involved with Tarku since now 7 months. We've been involved with Tarku because we've sold our private company to Tarku. And my background is actually geologist and MBA. And I have a great support from our CEO, which has a financial and IR background. He has over 20 years of experience and he's well known in Quebec. And we also have a tremendous support from our exploration manager, Benoit Lafrance, who is actually the brain behind why we acquire all those projects in Quebec.
Merci, Jack. Hi, I'm Jack Stock from Globex Mining Enterprises. I am the guy basically who runs the company. We're a small group, about 13 people, 7 geologists, most of them senior geologists. Our board of directors consists of senior people. We have people like Ian Atkinson, who's the director of Kinross and was the president of Centerra Gold, which is a $1 billion gold company. Chris Bryan, who's a mining analyst for Caisse de dépôt et placement previously. We also have my wife Diane, who was a senior analyst, controller, accountant for Noranda Mines, and Hans van Hoof, who runs a junior mining company, but his real speciality is derivative finance. He was running somewhere between $2 and $3 billion in derivative finance for Soros. So we have lots of hands-on experience over 150 years.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Louis Morin. I am CEO of Opus One Resources that was previously named GFK Resources. I started my life in mining like more than 50 years ago. And if you don't believe me because I'm not that old, my dad was a GO and he brought me on the field to help when I was a young kid. So that's how I got the disease of liking mining. Then later I studied in engineering, but I ended up working in finance. I've been in finance sector for the last 30 years, and I've helped raising significant amount of money for junior companies and projects, probably through my contacts and myself, well above $100 million. And I work mainly in Opus One with Tony Brisson. Tony Brisson used to work with Gold Corp, with other companies as well, but his last long involvement with a major company, he has put it into production, the Eleanor Gold Mine up north for Gold Corp, and then decided he might do something else, and he had access to very good properties. He has very good relationship with many prospectors in the province. So we ended up in Opus One building a very nice portfolio of good properties. So basically, that's what we're doing, and we'll tell you more about it in the next questions.
Okay. Can you keep the microphone there, Louis? We'll start with you on the next question here. What are the advantages and disadvantages of working in Quebec?
Disadvantages, I don't see many. Advantages, there are many. First one, I would say we have a very attractive fiscal policy. Like, as an example, we have a generous flow-through program that gives generous tax exemptions to investors. And if the company raises hard cash, this exemption, those tax credits go back to the company. And it does represent almost 35% of the money raised that comes back to the company, which is very good. Other advantage there is we have an abundance of skilled workers. We have very good social accessibility on average. In Abitibi, we have a very good road network that makes most of the project accessible. Therefore, exploration is cheap. And as you mentioned earlier, many mines were discovered in Abitibi, and we believe and we think there is many more to find as well. And disadvantages, I would say there is a winter, but it isn't a disadvantage because it allows access to some areas that are not accessible during summer. So I think it's one of the best jurisdictions to explore for mining in the world, actually.
I agree.
I agree with a lot of what he said. I disagree. I think in some things, I think there are disadvantages to Quebec, but comparatively to other places in the world to work, it's one of the better ones. One of the things that I like about Quebec is the staking system. It's computerized, it's easy, and it seems fair. Also, the CGM system of data, which we have access to, is excellent. On the negative side, the government has become susceptible to pressure from environmentalists, and some of the rules in the new mining law that was passed by the Parti Québécois have made life more difficult. For example, if you want to do a bulk sample before, you could do 50,000 tons, now it's 500 tons. Before, you had a right as an exploration company to go on the ground and explore. Now it's subject to approval of the surface rights owner. So a lot of the things have become more difficult. It's still a good place to work, but it's not as good as it used to be.
I agree. I totally agree with you guys too. One thing I could add is I think we have a great support from our funds. We have several funds, institutional funds in Quebec that are really supportive. That's one of the major financial aspects. And I will add also that usually investors in Quebec are really well informed. When I receive some phone calls, I don't have to explain what the mining industry is. They really know what it is. So it makes a different game. You deal with people who are aware of what your business is. This is something important too.
Very little to add because these gentlemen thankfully have covered everything. I would say that on the positive sides, because we have the land package that we have, we don't have to deal with many of the service rights issues, and the permits for drilling are already in place. I think one of the only negatives, if I can think of it so far, is that with the district and the area being so famous, and so many people kicking off massive drill programs, that's a little bit to have assays turned around as speedily as one liked. Maybe that's one downside, but I guess that's because there's so much excitement in the region. So I'd rather have that be the case than not.
Okay. Now let's keep going with you, Matthew.
Yeah.
What about, has there been any consequences of the recent activity at Windfall Lake on your company, if any? And has it been a positive or a negative for you?
I think I have the same answer that I just gave. Because of that, there's been new attention to the area when you have that kind of a splashy kind of news out from new discoveries. Everyone, like in The Lord of the Rings, the eye of the junior market turns on the region, and people start looking at it with intense interest. So that has two consequences. One, people love what you're doing. The other thing is people love what you're doing. And the second part of that equation results in slower assay turns, and finding skilled workers can be a little more difficult, but you have a plethora of skilled workforce to draw from. So all things being equal, it's a net positive for sure.
I will also say that it's more positive than negative, of course. If you look on a map, the Windfall project, it's about in the middle of the Abitibi province. This is where all the attraction is. It was before in the south part, now it's going north and north. And this is what I like. It's because we, with Tarku, we have positioned ourselves in the north region. And I could say that the project we have now is what Windfall was 10 to 15 years ago. So I hope this is a positive aspect.
Yeah, I think it's been a positive. Basically, success breeds success. And as you said, people focus on what the potential is. If they see someone is successful, they think other projects are worth investing in. Negatives, the only negative I can think of is it's hard to get a drill. They've got a lot of them.
Thank you, Jack. In our case for Opus One, it's been very positive. Reason is, through his relationship, our geologist successfully acquired a large piece of land directly in the urban Barrie district that is very well located. This is our Fecto project. And we started to generate very good results out of this project recently. We outlined new zones, and we're right in the heart where the action is happening. So it's been very positive. It attracts a visibility, it attracts attention. The negatives have been outlined. It's harder to get drills, as Osisko has 27 drills operating right now. And it's much longer to get assay results as well, because labs have a long wait period because of that. But I would say the advantages the visibility brings are more superior, far more superior than the disadvantages.
Okay, and Louis, we'll stay with you on the next question. What will be the major catalyst for your company in 2018?
Well, we had a very busy field work program in 2017. We outlined very good targets to continue both surface exploration and drilling. We will be drilling in 2018, and we'll be generating results.
Okay.
For Globex, the major catalyst is what we've been doing. Over the last number of years, we've been acquiring assets to the point where we have 162 assets in the company, including 76 gold projects, 70 base metal, and so on. And we're starting to make serious money. The mine in Tennessee is producing revenue for us. We're getting checks. It'll soon be about $200,000 a month. options. We're optioning properties. People are exploring, spending money, getting positive results, and paying their bills to us, which is great. So money in the bank is what is going to breed success for us.
For Tarku, this is going to be results also. We have worked on 2 adjacent projects we have in the Matagami area last fall. Results are coming. They're going to be released within the next weeks. We have just made an interesting deal on the Guercheville project with Soquem, the option to acquire 50% of that project. There's a drill program was going to start within about at the end of January, so we're going to have news coming out within the next month also. And the Chateau Fort project, the one we have in the James Bay area, this is the one we're going to work during 2018. Those 3 projects.
So we have results will be coming out post our 25 to 30,000 meter drill program that commenced last week. If you can check some of our news releases regarding that exploration program, those drills are turning today, actually, as we sit here. In addition, there'll be some resource updates. We had a 23,000 meter and change program that was run last year. I'm pretty sure resource estimate was not provided along those lines, so I'll let you read into that statement. And as we bring the story forward, increase the ounces, you should see that plenty of new releases coming out over the course of this year in this program. So what's nice, again, as these gentlemen mentioned, is we can do year-round work, which means there can be year-round news releases, which is not the case for many companies.
Okay, and we have about 30 seconds left. Maybe each of you can tell us where your booth is. Where your booth is located?
I don't know actually. What, Jonas? Where is it? Oh, what's the number? 709.
Okay.
709. Yeah.
Tarku Resources at 900.
Globex at 604.
And Opus One we share with Tarku, it's 900.
Great.
Thank you everyone for listening and being here.